What if your life changed in a single moment and you had to learn how to become yourself all over again? Today's guest has lived through exactly that. Shannon Michelle survived a devastating motorcycle accident that left her in a coma for months with severe brain trauma and life changing injuries. During her recovery, she had to relearn how to walk, remember, and rebuild her life step by step. But Shannon's story is not just about survival, it's about resilience, healing, faith, and learning how to stay present through even the darkest moments. Today, she uses her experiences to inspire others through her book, Step into Your Miracle, and her message of hope, self kindness, and inner strength. Please join me in welcoming Shannon Michelle. Let's get into it. Hello, Shannon, and thank you for joining the Influence Exchange today. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How's everybody else?
Fantastic. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you today.
I am too. I like to be able to get excited about every day, not quite remembering the day before.
Sure, sure. You know, Shannon, for the audience members that may be watching or listening to this episode, your journey is inspirational to myself. And I'm sure once the audience starts to listen or watch this episode, they would take away so much from today's conversation. So I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yay.
So, Shannon, you had a major accident,
I did.
and I would like to start from the beginning, please. And how did that accident occur, please?
Okay. Um, it was approximately 4 years ago. My severe motorcycle accident. I was traveling on Pacific Coast Highway, and a tourist hit me with an illegal U-turn from. And this is I think the important part, but the empowering part is I've only been told this because from my accident, brain trauma, I don't remember any of this, which I'm grateful for because from what has been explained to me and the severity, I don't want to wake up each morning with that just that sadness because it was horrific. I mean, they thought so. Car hit me on my motorcycle doing an illegal U-turn, threw me up in the air from what I've been told, 30 or 40 feet, crashed back down, and that's when I say that the blessings started because there happened to be an EMT on the beach with his wife, and he ran up, and then he did his thing. And then there was somebody in the car that saw it happen that rides motorcycles that stopped everybody from rolling over me. Because Pacific Coast Highway it's a highway. It was a Sunday, always busy. And those were the first steps into me knowing or not knowing, but knowing from the story that I'm still supposed to be here. And so, yeah, throw it up in the air, 30 to 40 feet, crash back down, all on one side. The eye patch gives you a sense of that. But this is honestly like the least severe part of it, like my brain trauma, coma for a few months. Every body part was broken, everywhere. And new hips, new putting me back together. That's how severe the physical part of the accident was. And um, and then I was in the hospital for 3 months, from what I was told. And they really weren't sure what was going to happen or what they were going to get back because there was moments where because of the severity of the brain trauma, that they thought I'd maybe be looking out a window the rest of my life. And
Sure.
I'm glad that I'm not.
Yeah. 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 Me too, Shannon. Before we continue,
Mhm,
you have a passion for motorcycles.
mhm.
What is your passion? Why do you like to ride motorcycles?
For me, it was like my Sunday school. I worked really hard all week, and I had a really important interior design firm and employees and clients, and it was my way of doing almost like my self-care on a Sunday. Is I could get on my motorcycle and get out into the fresh air with a group of people that I really love, and go kind of look at the world, like look at it from being really existing in it. And there was long rides. It wasn't from getting from here to there. It was, traveling for hours and stopping and spending time with people. And it was just, there was a freedom with it that I really enjoyed, for myself. And I think we all find freedom in different ways, like the feeling of, you know, joy or freedom, whatever words you want to put around it. We each find a way to step and find our way in our lives, in a different way, I think. But that's what it was for me. Writing was a huge release, freedom to my everyday, from my everyday.
Sure. And how many years have you been riding motorcycles?
I had been writing personally on my own. I was on my fifth or sixth year. I had been
Okay.
on the back since I was 16. I was a rider with somebody, and then I learned how to ride on my own. And so I was on it was 5 or 6 of me riding solo.
Sure.
Yeah.
So pretty much it's a passion of yours that you really, really enjoyed.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I had, yeah, let's put it this way. I had more bikes than the one that got crashed.
Sure.
All of that too. I had to,
Yeah,
yeah. So yes, I was very passionate about my writing and, the experience and what it gave me, yeah.
sure. And you worked in designing, interior designing.
Mhm.
Talk to us about your passion for designing.
Well, that's what I refer to as my 1.0 Shannon Michelle versus my 2.0. I kind of feel like I'm a
Sure.
3.0 now because I keep leveling up on my abilities. And so Shannon Michelle 1, um, I had an amazing firm with great clients and did it in a way that I helped people create an environment for themselves that they felt good about, not how I wanted to see it, but how I wanted them to be able to feel in it. And I had a huge career, and I had been doing it for, gosh, 25, 30 years. I did it since I was almost a child, what felt like it, when I started my first store. It was a little antique store on Melrose, and it did well, and then it grew, and I expanded from there. And so, yeah, that was my world previous to my motorcycle accident. I was very good at what I did, and I loved doing it. I was very, very passionate about that as well. But just like anything, if you kind of, even when you succeed in something, you could overdo it and get like an overload by anything in life again. So yeah, yeah.
Sure. Sure. That's amazing. Interior designing. I think I spoke to you prior, off camera, about how my wife loves designing as well. It's something that if that could be her career, she would definitely quit her day job to do designing. She loves it. And I could relate because I see the passion that she has when she is decorating a room or buying something.
Yes.
Right now it's springtime almost in New York, and we just got a new outdoor patio set. So it looks so chic,
Uh-huh.
so colorful and awesome looking. And I leave it up to her. That's what
And
she loves to do. And
but that's great because again, within whatever you can do for yourself in a creative way, and your wife does that, and it brings you joy. Like she brings in what is abundant to, and she does feels good about, and it brings joy to the whole family. And that is, I think that's important that people understand that about themselves, what they can bring to, any situation. Something as small as moving a lamp on the side of the table in a different direction for some people, or the right shirt. It's different for all of us, but that's how we get creative and show ourselves.
Yes, yes, for sure. It's lovely. Shannon 2.0.
Yeah.
So after the motorcycle accident, you went to the hospital and you were in a coma.
Hmm.
I know there's a lot that you don't remember because of memory loss.
Hmm. Traumatic
Can
brain
you
injury.
please Right, right, all right. Can you please walk us through what you do remember of part of the recovery?
I'd say mostly what I remember is having to learn that I couldn't remember anything. I remember waking up and not knowing where I was over and over again, because I would wake up in the hospital in a bed looking out, going, what happened? And not understanding what had happened to me at first. And then I went through a phase of, they were able to bring me home after 3 months, and I had to go through a phase of relearning everything. Again, the physical obvious thing is I had to wait a period of time before I could even learn to walk again, or drive, or read. So coming from a place of being able to run my own company for 25, 30 years, and then waking up and not knowing where I was, and not understanding what had happened, but also not knowing anything, and having to learn to regain some brain, some brain
Yeah,
by doing things on repeat, and being okay with, you might not remember this, Shannon. Yeah, you might have to learn this 300 times before you actually retain it. So that was a big part of my recovery, is relearning how to do everything, finding my way with the newness of waking up and making decisions about a cup of coffee, or being able to walk myself to the kitchen, or whatever each day brought. And it kept evolving. But it was that part was really difficult, not truly having any short-term memory
sure.
was really, really, and I was broken into so many pieces, and it was very painful. So it's not like that wasn't a part of my recovery, because it was. But the part that the repeat of not knowing what to do, and not knowing what had happened, and getting comfortable with waking up and just being good with what I felt in that moment and that day, and what I could keep achieving by not knowing much.
Sure.
It was big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You are a mom
Hmm.
and you have a daughter.
Hmm. Her name.
What was Yeah. Right,
I love
right,
her name. She's my grandma's name.
right. Walk us through some of the exercises after trying to regain your memory loss to even remembering your loved ones, your family.
Mm. That was hard. Um, Thankfully, my daughter, from what I've been told, I remembered the whole time.
Sure,
Now, I didn't remember where she was, or if she'd been there or not been there, meaning in my recovery part, but I always knew who she was, which brought a lot of comfort in my recovery. Um, but there were people that I had known for, oh gosh, more than 20 years, that walked into my hospital room, and they would look at me, because they were told, like, she may not remember you. And I remember, um, knowing that I couldn't remember somebody, but they looked familiar. And it, at the beginning, I would just find my way into responding the way that I could respond. Um, but it was hard, because to not remember somebody that you've known, a friend, for how many years with how many experiences, um, that part was difficult for both of us, for my friends and family and for me, because they had to see me in a new way, just like I had to see myself in a new way. Um,
Sure.
yeah. I get a little lost. So if that answered your question, then good.
Shannon, it's absolutely okay. We could continue. I'm just passionate that we are talking today because I'm sure there's so many other people that's listening or watching that's been in the same situation. And what you have to speak about your journey from the accident to coma, then to cancer,
Hmm.
it's inspiring. And your message will push others to be motivated.
I
So
hope.
again, it's
Thank you.
absolutely okay.
And
Sure, sure.
I feel like I have so much to share and to guide and to be insightful for people who get a little lost. And I had to do that for myself over and over again and understand what that feels like. So no matter what type of trauma or hardship somebody goes through, I understand it in a way that we all understand that none of us are perfect. None of us are always happy. None of us
Sure.
are always satisfied with ourselves or with others. I mean, we all go through the kind of light and darkness of who we are as human beings. And
Mhm.
it's important to for me, it's important that I can share as much about what I've gone through so that I can help others. That is my top goal in this new life of mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And Shannon, your support system is so important. Speak to us about the people, the family, your friends that supported you through this journey.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to move forward?
Oof, that's a good one. Um, I was I was loved probably more than I realized. I think all of us are.
Mhm.
Sometimes we don't understand how important we are and how we're able to help and show up and give to others as much as they can give to us. And I know that for me, I was a big giver. I wasn't a good receiver previous to my accident. And I thought that that was honestly the right way to live. Like, don't be too needy, don't ask for too much. And that's how I built my career, is like, I've got this. And
Mhm.
in a way that was a good thing, but in a way it wasn't, because finding the balance of the give and take of anything with my employees, with my clients, with my furniture store, like there was always, I knew how to give and give and give and not receive in a way that I think is healthy for our hearts. And I think with my friends and family, they had to show up and not know what they were going to get back and be comfortable with the new me, because I am different. And to have a best friend to respond in a certain way and look a certain way and do certain things, you depend on that friend. And then
Right.
all of a sudden, that friend is new and different. And you have to like the new person. You have to decide to like the new person. And
Mhm.
so sometimes, as a person that's been in the trauma, that's going through the brain mess, if you're on the other side, just remember that that new person ha- is there because they want to be there, not because of what you've done. And acceptance of whatever you need to accept is so empowering to understand that give and take in a friendship and family. It can empower you, but if you're doing one side, it's hard to appreciate it as much as you could if you can do it from both sides, the give and take part.
So Shannon, how long were you in a coma, and what was the time frame of you regaining your memory?
Oh, that's a little bit of a messy question, but they kept me in a coma for 2 months at UCLA, and then once I think they had to kind of bring me in and out to see if they could completely bring me out of that. Um, and I personally don't remember any of my hospital visits or who it came and saw me. I remember my memory started a little bit better when I was in the nursing home because they until I could walk again, they needed to keep me in a certain environment. And so I remember little tidbits of a nursing home because there was always, generally another person in the room. Um, and they also had to do something sometimes, like, I know it's going to sound awful and silly, but it was necessary. They would have to tie me down, like restrain my arms, because I would wake up over and over again, not knowing where I was and not understanding that I couldn't get up, that I couldn't walk. Because if I could move my legs, why couldn't I walk? Like, I didn't even understand that. So I remember those moments of them having to tell me, you have to just stay put. And I remember also getting to points where I thought I was remembering more, and I really wasn't, because a nurse would come in and say, "What would you like for lunch?" And I said, "Oh, I already had lunch." And she goes, "You haven't had lunch today." I'm like, "No, you asked me, I wanted the chicken or whatever I would say." And they're like, "That was yesterday," or "That was," And so that taught me as well that I wasn't retaining much. I thought I remembered somebody coming in and trying to help me, and I couldn't remember if that was that day or that week. And so I remember some of that. And that to me was the beginning of my regaining some capabilities in my brain. Um, and then I remember being begging to be home for my birthday,
Yeah.
which was May 12th. And I'm like, can I just be in my own bed? Can I be home for my birthday? And they're like, you can't walk yet. You can't just go home if you can't walk. And I said, please. And then they had to go through all the bells and whistles for them to allow me to say it's okay. She'll be, I had to get nursing help, and friends and family who would come. My uncle would come and spend the night, and until I could walk again and I could have people there. There was transition.
Yeah.
Also, my daughter was in college for the first year. When this accident happened, she had just started college at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and she was maybe 6 months into college. And all of a sudden, she has to process through possibly the first few days losing her mom, and then her mom maybe never coming back, and then slowly seeing me return. That's a big trauma for a kid. And
Sure.
she wasn't a kid, but she was 18, and that taught her as well that things can change,
Mhm.
and she's had to learn how to adapt to the new mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was some of the stuff I remember more clearly because it was more on repeat. And I also know that she was just so kind with knowing that I didn't remember anything, knowing that I didn't know much.
Sure.
Um, and again, as a parent, you want to fully show up and you want to be there
Mhm.
for your children, and you don't know that your brain can be deleted and come back and be a different person with different capabilities. I mean, not many people, thankfully, will go through anything near what I've been through, but understanding that life can change in a moment
Sure.
is empowering to know, like, how I can be the best I'm going to be today, and to try to do the best that we can do in each day, instead of what has happened or what will happen. That is a goal that I would say to everybody who's listening: stay present,
Yeah.
stay present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Shannon, There's people that's dealing with trauma and don't know how to move forward. What motivates you today to move forward?
Today, I know by sharing my story, I can help others,
Sure.
and that's my goal. Um, but I would say for somebody who is searching for some hope in their life, the first thing that I would tell everybody to do is to stay present. So when you wake up, whether you wake up feeling sad or happy, whatever it is, that you are comfortable with where you are in the present moment, and let that teach you how to make your next steps, and let it be okay to wake up and not have all the answers, because we don't have all the answers, even though we try really hard to find solutions to everything. If we can wake up and be present, and then be guided by what our present moment is saying to us and how we should engage in this day. I'll give you a perfect example. I live in Los Angeles. I was at a music festival yesterday. I knew I had to come home because I can only do so much in a day.
Sure.
And I came home, and I generally look at my phone to know what I'm supposed to do the next day. And I didn't. So when I woke up, because I wake up very early, I woke up and then I saw, oh, you and I are going to talk. How
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But I, but yesterday, I didn't know that. And last week, I didn't know that, even though I'm sure it's in my phone. But I have this ritual where every day I wake up, or before I go to bed, is I look at what I have tomorrow, and then I wake up and I proceed with my next day. So, perfect example is this moment right now was me forgetting that we were going to be sitting here talking,
Sure.
and having this comfort in, have I talked to this gentleman before? What and just showing up and being like, okay, let's talk, let's figure this out. And we're figuring this out together, with me not preparing, not knowing, just being, and engaging with you in a conversation that I know my brain is really, really smart, even though it can't retain much. It works really well.
Mhm.
And to give myself the kindness and the patience to not worry about doing it wrong or having the right answers. Just being me is what you get today. And that's what I get every day. Is this me right
Sure.
now? Yeah. So, you know, it inspires me. It inspires me to give myself the patience and the kindness to be okay with things not working out, things working out, doing the best that I can do in each day,
I love
each
that.
moment. Yeah.
Shannon, I love
Thank you.
that. That's great. So, Shannon, from a motorcycle accident to a coma and breast cancer, for God's
Then
sake.
we get to breast cancer.
Yes,
I know. I mean, I laugh at it. I laugh at it because I have to find humor with certain
of
parts
course.
of my brokenness. But yes, I went from being broken so severely and then being told that I had breast cancer. I literally laughed. I was like, I thought to myself, if I was going to die, I would, it would have been by this, this, and this. And I had to learn that just because you've been through so much trauma doesn't mean trauma stops.
Mhm.
It still is, it still happens. Things do adjust, things change. And we can only, again, be good to ourselves
Yeah.
with each moment. And so my daughter's the one that had to call me out on that. She said, Mom, because I had more surgeries that I needed at that point on my body, my eye, my wrist. And she's like, I, I understand you want your brain to get better. I understand you want your body to work more, but we're going to focus on the cancer now. My daughter is telling me this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hmm.
Mhm.
But that I won't forget. I won't forget that it took my daughter, who had already been through all this trauma with me, to show me, oh, Shannon, you've got to put aside this other stuff,
Mhm.
and you need to pay attention to this new stuff so that we can keep you. And And again, you can think about that in any part of your life, a relationship, children, a job. Like, know that things can adjust and change, and things can feel phenomenal and amazing. And then they can adjust and they can be really awful
Sure.
and messy. And how can you adjust through the bad stuff, and the good stuff gives you and can empower you and give you such strength if you let it. Yeah.
Sure.
So please, anybody, give yourself the strength of staying present, and finding the answers as they come. And if you're not getting answers that you feel like you're trying to solve something, be patient. Stop. Pause. Quit trying to solve. Just be, and things will speak to you, and you will get answers to questions. Oh, and I do the yes, no, maybe, which I always forget, but I try to remember. I do this process, like, come right now. I'm going to have you say, if you want to say it out loud or say it from within, a question you have, for yourself. And again, you can say it to me or you can think it. And once you do, we do the yes, no, maybe.
Yes, no, maybe. Yes. Okay.
So, okay. So do you want to try it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it together.
So again, from your heart, something that you have, a question that you're searching for an answer, whatever that might be, something that is speaking through you, that you are trying to search for something within. And once you have that question, you can either say it or think it, and then try to simplify the answer for yourself, being a yes, a no, or a maybe in this present moment.
You think about that, Shannon.
And don't, and that's the other thing, don't overthink it.
Hmm.
Just what comes to you, what came to you right this minute. Oh, I'm going to get lunch in an hour, whatever it might be. And let the answer, yes, no, or maybe, come from just the present moment.
Yes. What came to my mind right away, Shannon, is prior to jumping on this interview with you, my son asked me, "Are we going to play baseball today?" And I
Oh,
told him, he's 9 years old. So I told him, yes, but first I have to meet with Shannon. And he asked me, who is Shannon? And I explained to him. And he said, okay, daddy, I could wait. So that was the first thing that came to my mind when you spoke to me about this exercise.
yeah. So the answer came to you, yes, right?
Yes.
And then, and also it's allowing, and also teaching anybody around us, if you have a question, simplify it to a yes, no, maybe answer.
Yes.
A yes is yes, a no is no, and a maybe is, I don't know at this moment. And the answer will come to me. But that means kind of put it aside. The maybes, allow yourself to put that question aside if you don't have a distinct answer, and be comfortable with not having an answer. And so that is, again, how I process through my days sometimes, because I still get confused. I still kind of overjudge. I love that my brain is working better. I try to stop myself from thinking like the previous Shannon Michelle,
Yeah.
because she was, very, very good at a lot of what she did, but she was terrible at receiving. So I'm trying to eliminate the give take, that I do both, or not eliminate, but gain that I do both. I give and I receive.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah,
So Shannon, patchwork.
yeah.
Talk to us. Yes, yes. Talk to us about it, please. First of all, I love for the audience members that is not watching on YouTube. You got to check out
Uh,
Shannon's patch. It's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take a peek at my website if you want to see it,
Yes.
in person. But yes, it is. I, for me, I had to learn to see things differently, and the most obvious is I had to see through things through one perspective,
Mhm.
which I had not for my whole life. Two eyes. We look at things, and I learned how to balance out how I could be by thinking about things in a kind of in a more simplified way. And so the patchwork was a process of pause and stay present, P, pause and stay present. We talked about that.
Yes.
And then once you're able to pause, truly pause and stay present, then you can take action, A for action. And what that action means to you in that pausing and stay present moment. So in your present moment, you're going to take action. And then T is for thoughtfulness, being thoughtful to yourself and to others within your actions. C is care. Oh, care, self care. Be kind to yourself. Care, care, care. And because the more that you can be kind to yourself, the more you have to give others. And after all of that, with whatever part of your life you're processing through, you can heal.
Sure.
And it's just like for me, things that I did in my multiple recoveries to feel comfortable, to understand that I'm doing the best that I can, and that I have so much, again, to give others. If I can fill this heart and, you know, get comfortable with this one eye,
Yeah.
then I can expand and share and grow and help the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my patchwork.
I love that.
Yeah, and I hope to. We're in the midst of creating a monthly class, so as soon as that arrives, where people can log in and we can do some of this processing together through the patchwork, but also by staying present and trying to, you know, allow people to ask anything that comes to them, and talking through, you know, how that helps all of us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Please share that information when you do have it so I could post it on
Yeah.
the episode description.
Okay. Yeah. So yes. So and please, everybody, take a peek at my website. They made me a beautiful website,
It is.
and it tells you a lot more about my story. And there's some interesting shots of me in the hospital because, you know, they
Yes.
there were so many tubes and there was so much, and then they made me a beautiful, like a whole wall. They put pictures up of me and my family and my life. Because they kept saying when she gets out of the coma, for her to see that
Sure.
would be helpful. And it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember it other than I've seen it in pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
But look at me, it worked.
Yeah. Good. Good. I'm glad it did. Shannon, you are an author. You have
Yeah.
your book, Step into Your Miracle. And by the way,
Yeah,
the artwork, it's beautiful.
I know. And my daughter drew that. My daughter drew the cover, which I'm so proud that she's been obviously a part of this journey with me. But the fact that she's a part of this next step of my career and she drew that picture for me, she's so part of my story, and that she took the time and drew the cover. And I think she's an amazing artist, but she doesn't do that for a living. She just does it for fun, and
Sure.
she does it, as probably her own self therapy. And she drew that, and I'm very proud of that.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Talk to us about your book. What's the book about?
Oof. I mean, it's. I'll tell you that it started because everything was broken, both my wrists, my hips, my whole like reboot process. I couldn't write, so I spoke into my phone so that I could remember what would work or not work about a day. Okay, remember that not to do that or to do that, or sharing honestly the sorrow and the joy that was coming daily through my recovery is part of that. The beginning part tells a little story of how it happened. And then one of my favorite, chapter 2, I talk about the one thing I do remember is being mid state. And I woke up talking about Bill, my father figure, and I was just, I thought he was basically sitting right next to me, and he had recently, within about 8 months, had passed, but I remembered him with me, and I remember him kind of calming me down in a way, and showing me that and talking to me. I know you don't want to go back into that, like it was from what I remember. We were talking about the ebbs and flows about me coming back.
Sure.
And and so I talk about that in the book, about how having faith in ourselves matters.
Hmm.
And I did. And I also was handed these beautiful moments of why I should come back. And I have come back. And so I talk a little bit about that. And then I get into what worked and what didn't. And I have a whole chapter that's my journaling that gets very personal and very authentic and real
Sure.
about my bad days and my good days, and and how to kind of step through that and find yourself again. So yeah, it's basically how to turn any type of trauma into a triumph is my goal. Like it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter what your story is, but don't think that your story isn't 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 you, don't believe that you can't navigate through your traumatic story. And how can you find your way to see yourself and move through something that seems unbelievably painful, um, something that's taken. I mean, again, you can put a lot of words around it. I was broken. I was deleted. I was um, I was a lot of things, but I slowly could see myself again and like myself again and remember who I was. And that's what all of us have to do as well, is remember who you are at the soul and at the heart of who you are. Remember that person, not the broken person that you feel like you are from the outside. Think about the inside person. Think about from your heart. Get the answers from your heart, not always from your
Sure.
head.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. From the exercise we did earlier, from the heart.
Yeah, from the
Yes.
heart.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
Shannon, I usually like to ask my guests one final question.
Okay.
What final thoughts or message would you like to share with the world?
Mm. I think telling each and every person that they have the inner strength that they need for this day, and they need to remember who they are by being kind to themselves. To me, that's the message that came to me. Um, and it's different. For me, it's today is a good day. You know, Tomorrow may not be, and I get comfortable with that. So if you're the person that today isn't a good day, just be kind to yourself, whatever that looks like. Be kind to yourself.
I love that, Shannon. Thank you so much.
Oh, and then also, the book.
Uh,
There's you can purchase. It's all kinds of things through my website, and there I'm also, which I should have put near me, but I just created these affirmation cards about. Basically, it's a deck, and it's. I was so inspired that I don't even know how inspiring I am that I spoke into my phone.
Sure.
Well, quote cards or flip book that they're in the midst of beginning to be able to release. So you'll have to check back in about a month. But yeah, the book and the cards and email me. Everybody just email me if you have a question, a simple question, ask it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will be putting your email, your website, the link to purchase your books on the episode description. Absolutely.
Great.
Shannon, you've been an amazing, amazing, amazing person to talk to today. I'm
Thank you.
inspired, I'm motivated from our conversation.
Good.
And for anybody, again, any audience member that's listening and watching, Shannon's message is powerful. And hopefully, you could take away so much from it and learn how to move forward and be motivated. You shared so much today, Shannon, and thank you again.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Enjoy your day.
Bye. Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other platform, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on the next episode. Because we're going to keep having real, honest conversations like this. And remember, your influence grows every time you choose courage over comfort. I'm JV. Stay curious, stay consistent, and keep influencing others.